How you doing? Welcome to another video. If you don't know me, my name is Kevin O'Hara for habitsv2.com. Today, I want to talk about why is stopping drinking alcohol so complicated? Why is life complicated? This is one of the questions that we got recently over on YouTube. I think it was YouTube or Facebook. Anyway, it depends what you mean by complicated. Being complicated, something being complicated depends on who you are, and it's got a lot of different meanings depending on the person, depending on the situation, the context. So for me, complicated is as you make it. Things can be very, very complicated in your life, but you can make them much more complicated by the way you think about it, by the mindsets that you have, that you employ, by your attitude, by your commitment, your responsibility, all of these things. When I was a drinker, one of the things that I used to think about a lot, especially when I was under pressure, was being a goat herder up on some mountaintop in some Italian mountain or a Spanish mountain or in Greece somewhere warm, where I didn't have really a bother in the world, where I could just take these goats out and let them do the thing, and I would be able to laze my day through. How boring would that be if I think about it from my perspective right now? But it was only when I was highly stressed when I used to think that. When I was trying to deal with problems, and it was an escape mechanism more than anything else, because it would be from my perspective of really trying to think about escaping the problems that I was having, or situations that I was having, or because I couldn't find solutions really. So it is an escape mechanism. Now, I think escape mechanisms in general are good. They're good for your soul. If you can, I love going to the movies, for instance. I love picking up a good book and escaping into a science fiction universe. And that does me a lot of good. But really, when you think about it, some parts of life are always going to be complicated. And like I said, you make things more complicated depending on the way that you think about it. It's just the nature of life. But I really think that you need to focus to make the complicated simple. And what I mean by that is you need to focus on a couple of different things in your life. Focus your energies and your time down down very narrow channels. Complication can often depend on your skills level. Before Christmas, maybe the end of October, so when we were in Ireland, I was reading a lot about crypto, about cryptography, about Bitcoin in particular, watching a lot of videos, reading a lot of different books. And the beginning, I just felt really stupid. I felt like, what am I doing here? I don't understand any of this stuff. But the more I learned, the more I read, the more I just watched different videos, the simpler it got. That I just understood more about the simpler concepts of these things. As one of the things that we're doing here, if you are trying to stop drinking alcohol, you can download our Quick Start preparation course. So you can download the Quick Start Preparation to Stop Drinking Alcohol course. This is a short course that helps to give you a bit of clarity, a bit of confidence, and just that courage to step across that line and stop drinking alcohol. You can get it free by scanning on the QR code or going to this link, www.habitsv2.com/prep. Now, as I said, I think that the more that you focus on things, the more you'll get out of them. Knowledge is power. For me, stopping drinking alcohol is that same thing. It's very simple in its essence. To stop drinking alcohol, all you have to do is not put the alcohol into your mouth. It's a very binary decision. You either decide that you're going to stop drinking alcohol or you're not. But you can make this process as complicated as you want. You can add so many layers of irrational depth, but it's not very deep, because all of these things are just below the surface, but they're caused by your irrational thoughts about yourself. And these irrational thoughts are often driven by fear. So fear about what might happen or what might not happen, fear about never being able to drink again, fear about what your friends are going to say or your family, fear about what the future is going to hold. That brings a lot of doubt into your life, doubt about yourself and your abilities to do these things, uncertainty in life, lack of self-belief. That's what we're talking about in the preparation course. It's very aimed towards trying to give you a very clear picture about what's going to happen, where you are now, and what is going to happen in the first few weeks of this journey, especially. Now, some people can just go, no more, I'm not going to do this anymore, and they stop. Esther was like that with Esther, my partner, was like that with smoking. And she just said one day, I'm going to stop. And it was tough for her, but she went through it. And she did the same thing with alcohol. For me, I'd stopped many, many, many times. But just understand that things can seem complicated, either because you've got a certain amount of uncertainty in your life because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. I mean, none of us do, but when you're drinking, you sort of have that idea that everything's going on the way that you understand it, even if those things that you're doing are killing you. There's still a certain amount of understanding to it, and there's a certain amount of what's going to happen. You drink, you get a hangover, and so on and so forth. So that breaks that down when you stop drinking alcohol, and you've got no way. You've got to relearn a lot of things like socializing and relaxing and all those kind of things. Anyway, I'm going to stop it there for today. Just understand that stopping drinking alcohol is a simple thing to do. It gets as complicated as you want to make it. So listen, I'll end it there for today. Take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.